Greetings everyone, welcome to the Sonic Universe issue 84 review, part 2 of Eggman's Dozen. To recap so far, the Nagas twins and the Witch Carters have taken over Eggmanland for the Dark Gaia energy. Eggman and Metal Sonic tried to take the facility back, but it ended with Metal Sonic getting crystallized and Eggman retreating. Eggman's new plan is to gather his egg bosses, due to them being cyborgs, to launch another offensive against the twins. I see this going well. This part begins with another flashback with Walter gloating over his crystallized trophies. Sonic, of course, is itching to get out while Eggman tries to make a deal with Walter. However, as Walter points out, the last time the two made a deal, Eggman took over the islands while sending Walter on a one-way paid trip to the Special Zone. Before Walter can take his revenge, Wendy screeches in, informing him that Tails is on his way to the castle after defeating her Witch Carters. So, this confirms that the events of Tails' Sky Patrol do take place after Sonic 2 for the Game Gear. In the comic continuity, that is. As Walter and Wendy head off to intercept Tails, Sonic and Eggman try to find a way out of their crystal prison. This is where the flashback ends, and it turns out it was also a dream Eggman's having. Orbot and Cubot wake him so he could get to the meeting room with the gathered egg bosses. After he enters, he summarizes what happened to him last issue, and the reason he summoned them was because of their cybernetic nature. Hearing about Eggman's defeat naturally causes dissent among the ranks, but Eggman was counting on this and has prepared a demonstration for the insubordinates. And I don't want to know what's on Thunderbolt's mind right now. Ugh. Orbot and Cubot roll out the foreman from Metropolis Zone. Remember him from issue 255? Well, because of what happened in that issue, Eggman activated a failsafe in his cybernetics, which paralyzed his entire body. His mind's still active, which means it's a case of, I have no mouth and I must scream. Eggman has Orbot and Cubot file Tassel Boy, as Eggman and the fans call him, away, and the dialogue implies the foreman's not the only victim on board. Knowing that they have the same failsafe in their cybernetics, everyone falls in line. Ma asks a pretty legitimate question. Even Eggman points this out. Since the operation involves Dark Gaia energy, will Dark Gaia monsters make an appearance? Eggman replies the center spire is drawing in the energy and there is not enough ambient energy to form a tiny monster. So yeah, no Dark Gaia monsters to worry about, just the Nagas twins, the Witch Carters, and whatever badniks and defenses they have under their control. The plan now is for Eggman to split his egg bosses into groups of 2 to take care of key targets, then they would take care of the twins. Team 1 will consist of Tundra and Ucklet, and their job is to shut down the Summoning Spire temporarily to cut the Witch Cutters off the energy. Team 2 is Clove and Thunderbolt. Their job is to shut off the defense systems. Team 3 will be Nephthys and Maw. Their job is to shut down the command signal to the badniks. That way, the twins will have to control them directly, splitting their focus. Conquering Storm and Mordred Hood are Team 4. Their job is to find and take out the Witch Carters themselves. Team 5 is Cuckoo and Abyss. They're tasked with taking out the refinery's backup generator. Finally, there's Team 6 consisting of Axel and Eggman himself. After preparing some countermeasures, Eggman and Axel ride off to face the twins. As you can imagine, the plan begins falling apart due to various factors, both external and internal. I'll get more into the interplay between team members when I comment on the issue, but for now, let's see where things go wrong. First, we have Ucklet and Tundra, two members of opposing clans, and Eggman knows this. All it took was Ucklet saying how much Tundra sucks, and the two start fighting. The problem with these two here is, well, 1, Clove telling Thunderbolt to ditch the suit when in a tight space, and Thunderbolt just smashing an opening. And 2, Thunderbolt calls Clove out on her resentment in serving Eggman. It's only when Thunderbolt insulted Cassia, and having a bit of trouble with the press, that Clove decides to whip out her laser scythe. The remaining teams are having trouble with external threats. Team 3 with the crystallized badniks, Team 4 with the Witch Carters, and both Team 5 and Team 6 encounter some Dark Gaia monsters. Wait a minute, you said there wasn't going to be enough ambient energy to form a small monster, Mr. I have the master plan. Jeez, no wonder you keep losing to a speedy blue rodent. Let's tackle the game nods first. Besides what I commented about in the flashback earlier, and the obvious Eggmanland setting, there's Eggman himself breaking out a classic, Eggmobile D, the first boss of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which also appeared in Sonic Advance. And this transport Eggman and Axel came out of, the Blowfish Transporter, which debuted in Sonic Lost World. So, plot. Eggman planning and dividing his forces to take out certain areas so they can take back Eggmanland. 9 times out of 10 in fiction, if the audience overhears a plan in detail, things will go wrong. And this is such an example. Like last issue, the highlights involve the Egg Bosses, and Eggman keeps them in line with a paralysis failsafe in their cybernetics. I don't know what's worse, permanent paralysis while stored away in a small room, or exploding cybernetics from the old universe. Let's move on to the teams themselves and how they compare and contrast with one another. Except for Team 6, which is just Eggman preparing something in advance, and he and a reluctant Axel riding off to confront the twins. So Team 1, Tundra and Ucklet, they have a bad history together. As in, leaders of opposing tribes bad. And again, Eggman knows this. I wonder if the Orca-Walrus conflict is a holdover from the old continuity, in which Ucklet for a time had the Walrus tribe under mind control. The conflict in the new universe, based on the dialogue, is very messy. Ucklet couldn't resist stirring the proverbial hornet's nest and initiated a fight between him and Tundra, risking mission failure and permanent paralysis. Team 2 has Thunderbolt, who is an Eggman fangirl, and Clove, who's trapped in servitude thanks to Eggman treachery. On their way to their destination, Thunderbolt refused to ditch her armor at Clove's request. From a practical point of view, it would make sense if they want to move through the tight areas quickly. But from Thunderbolt's point of view, the power armor is a gift from Eggman, and ditching it would be an insult according to her. Speaking of which, it's when Thunderbolt starts chastising Clove about her reluctance to serve Eggman, especially mentioning how cybernetics are affecting her sister, that Clove whipped out her laser scythe at a critical moment. Cassia may carry Tomfuzz, but she's got nothing on the laser scythe. Just like Ucklet vs. Tundra, they risk permanent paralysis. Though Thunderbolt might get out of that punishment because loyalist. Team 3. We have Nephthys, who's making compromises to prevent escalation, and relative newcomer Ma. It seems Ma's another Eggman loyalist, but unlike Thunderbolt, he sees Eggman as more of a savior, believing the Doctor's actions can help save the world and the people on it. Team 4. We got a cowardly Mordred Hood in this universe, selling out his homeland to Eggman, which Conquering Storm considers safe and honorless. Her philosophy is gathering the strongest and taking what they want. Now, there's this interesting dialogue about royalty and nobility here, including this little bit about the Decoolits. A possible connection to Antoine? What is the history behind all of this? Finally, we've got Team 5, leaders of smaller empires within a large one. A pirate and a noble. One with multiple ships under the sea, and one with a single powerful ship in the air. Also, we've got a Babylon Rogues mention. Where are those guys, by the way? One final thing to mention. The art's been split in half. Adam Bryce Thomas handles the first 10 pages, and Tracy Yardley handles the last 10. It's nothing new, really. Switching artists in the same issue for some reason or another. I'm giving this story a 7.5. It's an interesting look at how Eggman keeps his forces at bay, and we get some world building through team interaction. Next time, we'll get to see how these team problems get resolved. And I'm aware that as of this video, subscribers are starting to get Sonic Universe issue 85. So folks, have a good day, and be safe. You know, for being a couple of bumbling robots, they have some pretty sinister eyes right here.